Hello to you today. Hope you're having a great day. I am doing this card today for the Scrap and Stamp blog hop, which is called Background Check. And I'm making a plaid background to share with you. I've done a few of these and I think they're great fun, especially at Easter time. So what I'm using is the Gansai watercolors that Rhea has in the store, and I've linked to them on my blog. I'm using a rose madder, a cad yellow, and a cad orange to do my background. I won't go into too much detail here. I'm using different sizes of brushes to pick up the paint and then going across the paint again. I've made 3 of these backgrounds, so this is one of them here. But I've made them light, dark, and just to see what one I liked best for my card. The difference being how much pigment you put into you mix up with your water. So for the lightest one, of course, it's less pigment, more water. For the really rich colored one, it's more pigment and less water. So that's how you decide that. I tape off all 4 sides. You don't want the water going in underneath your card. That'll create a bloom effect when you're trying to do this. So make sure you've taped off all 4 sides of your card when doing this technique. I can't draw a straight line if I depended on it, and this doesn't seem to matter with this technique. It looks cute no matter what. So I hope you'll give it a try. Once I've finished my plaid, I always go over some of the lines, and I got this from Debbie Hughes of Lime Doodle. She adds just a little bit more, an added touch with gold. Usually I use gold Wink of Stella. Today I'm using a gold Zig pen. My Wink of Stella is a bit on the dry side, so I just use this pen instead. Add in some of these lines. Don't do every single piece of your plaid. That'll look too busy with the gold. So pick where you want it to be. Just add a few touches here and there, and you'll be surprised at how much of a difference it makes for your background. And I won't go into too much detail. Here are the 3 plaids that I made. They're each different. And see, as you can see, there's no straight lines in my world. So I do like this light one, but I didn't end up using it, as you'll see. And I don't go into too much, even though I'm using a stamp set. I don't go into showing you any of the coloring. It's just pretty standard coloring using the Gansai palette as well. So here I've decided that I'm going to use this bright background. And this is the stamp set. It's poppy stamps to all my peeps. And I stamp with Ranger Archival ink because I'm going to be using the watercolors. And I just color normally. There's no fancy way to do any of my colors. And then I've cut them out. And you can see my background now with my plaid, very subtle underneath the 36-pound vellum that I laid on top. I stamped and heat embossed my sentiment on the pink cardstock along the bottom and have attached it on foam squares. And now I'm styling the toys that I'm going to add, the stamps that I'm going to add. I forgot to mention that I die cut the plaid background with my penny black stitched stackers die set. Say that fast a few times. And then I die cut the vellum using my Spellbinders A2 card dies, just to get a nice clean edge on the vellum. And now I'm just proceeding to add the little things that I want for my scene my Easter scene that I want to create. I've styled all of the images just to give some movement on the card. I think it makes a difference. All those tiny eggs on the right hand side, they've all been styled. They're for a little mountain that which isn't in the picture right now, but the bunny is going to sit on this little mountain of eggs. I don't end up using the lamb on the front of the card, but I'm going to use them on the inside when I finish it off, which I haven't done as yet. But I have another sentiment from the stamp set that can be stamped on the inside, and I'll finish it off with the little lammy in there. So I just go ahead and I'm either attaching with Nouveau glue to the vellum. I used vellum tape for my piece of vellum. You can see it slightly there in the picture. It's just starting to dry, and once it's dry completely, it doesn't show, which is quite nice, I must admit. So I'm just gluing on the flowers where I want them to be, and then I'm going to put on the bottom of the egg. Excuse me. And it's on foam squares. I'm going to tuck it just a bit underneath the sentiment that I have. There. Oh, here comes the bunny. I style him a bit. As you can see, it's kind of off camera. I'm trying to get used to a new setup that I've rearranged my whole area that I craft, and bought a new table so I'd have more space, and bought a new cabinet to store things in, and so I'm trying to get used to the differences of where I need to have my camera filming from. So if I'm going off the page a bit, that's why. I'll get it figured out in due course. I craft in my dining room, so it's a bit of a mixed bag room. But I never eat in there, so only if I have people here do we eat in there, but that's not very often either. So I'm just going to start adding. I don't know what I'm doing down there. Obviously not showing. See, I'm not realizing that I'm off camera. I'm thinking I have less space at the top than what I actually end up having. So there's the little birdie peeps. Cute. I painted him just using the cad yellow and the cad orange just a bit on his nose. Added a bit of white paint to the bottom of his, I shouldn't say nose, it's his beak. I do use the other little birdie too as well, and stick him on the bottom of the eggshell. And I'm going to use some old, I try him here, and then I change my mind. No, I don't like him there. So he's going to go elsewhere. Try him there. No, don't like him there either. This is what happens. I end up changing it there. Now that's where he's going to go. So I use some old dies from Memory Box. I use their clouds, a couple of their clouds, and from My Favorite Things Dynamics, I use the sun rays die. I've had them for a number of years. It's good to keep some of those dies that you know eventually they'll really help in making your scene complete. They're so tiny I have to turn them all over and add the glue to the back and then pick them up with my tweezers in order to get them affixed to the card. It's been a really fun card to make. I hope you'll try out the plaid and do something cute. It offers a lot of opportunities, especially at this time of year. I use all of the eggs. I put a couple on the other side of the little Peeps birdie, but most of them are underneath the bunny. It's normally, for some reason, I have bunnies with the eggs, and I don't know why. I guess it's the chocolate bunny that goes with the Easter eggs, and that's why they end up together on my cards as well. See, I don't realize that I'm this far out of camera range at this point. But at least what I'm doing, you can see that I turned it around because I'm putting some of these on in these tiny little spots. It's been a long day of putting together this cabinet. I'm honestly just too old for this business anymore. But I will be happy when I have all of this storage sorted out, making more room for my crafts. And it's not all of my crafts, it's just my card making crafts that stay in there. My sewing projects are in another closet. It's just terrible. Oh, just sticking that in a bit now. I just have a few more to put on. I didn't realize that I kept this much of this part of the video. A little bit boring, isn't it? Sorry about that. I think I thought I probably have not even got the cutting the sun and the clouds on camera. I had so much going on when I was trying to do this, so me bad, as they say. Anyway, it's a cute little set. Lots of fun, lots of little things that can be cut out from it. So I'm really happy I got it. There you are. But in a minute you're going to see that I didn't like just the boring look on the top of the card. I wanted to add more fun to my little scene that I created at the bottom. So there, I've added the sun here, tucked in some clouds. I've added some Winkostella to the bottom of the clouds and some Winkostella to the flowers. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this card, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.